Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about dealing with a breakup effectively. So this is a video that's in two parts. The first part is if you were the one that got dumped, and the second part is if you were the one that broke up the relationship and dumped your ex, okay? So this is all based for people that are hoping that maybe they'll get their ex back, and a few things in there that may help you move on and things like that. So let's get into if they were the one that dumped you, if you got dumped, okay? So the first thing that I want you to do is to don't fight for the relationship, right? Simply allow it. When someone breaks up with you, allow it, right? Don't try and fight it, right? And immediately go into no contact. So when someone dumps you, you can say something like, you know what, that really sucks. I'd love to be with you. But if you don't want to be with me, then, obviously, I don't want to be around you anymore either. So it was nice to be with you. It was nice hanging around with you. And we had a great time. And goodbye, basically. That's all you really need to say. You just gracefully allow it, right? And you just allow the breakup to happen. Because usually the natural reaction isn't the right reaction, because when you get dumped, the natural reaction, if you didn't want the breakup either, is, oh, I need to fight for this, I need to convince them, I need to try and fight for the relationship, I need to apologize, I need to do something, right? But in reality, that's not the right reaction, because when an ex breaks up with you, it was probably a really tough thing for them to do, and because it was a tough thing for them to do, now that they've done it, they probably feel relief. So the worst thing that you could do is to fill up their phone with calls and text messages, begging and pleading to get them back, because that's not going to work out for you. That's just going to push them away even further and reinforce their decision to break up with you, right? So if you want them to miss you, basically, and the best thing that you can do to allow them to miss you is by not contacting them, by not blowing up their phone. So whenever they look at their phone, it's just a blank and empty screen. There's no notifications from you liking their posts, or they can see that you haven't watched any of their stories. You want to go completely ghost, right? So that means not watching their stories. That means not liking any of their posts. That means not texting them, messaging them, calling them. When they look at their phone, they don't want to see anything from you. That's your aim here, right? Don't be posting things on social media. I see this so much with people that have just broken up with someone. They start posting things that are like really mopey and sad, and it's just so weak and it's just so needy. And I can see why people do it, because they're upset, and they're probably just wallowing, have too much time on their hands to be on social media. They find posts that make them feel sad and then they share them. Don't treat your ex like an idiot, because even if you're posting something that you feel is indirectly towards them, they're still probably going to be able to tell that it's about them, especially, if they're still friends with you and can actually view your posts. Don't ever post anything online that makes you look weak and needy, like posting things that are really sad. There was that famous quote that people used to put in there, like MSN, what was it called? Like MSN Messenger title. I think even I did this sort of thing as well. Like you just put something like, I like to walk in the rain because then no one can see me crying, things like that. It just makes you look so weak, right? And it's, talking about MSN Messenger probably reveals my age a little bit to you. But, that's something that you got to understand. Putting things like that on social media isn't going to, no amount of them pitying you is going to make them feel more attracted to you. Because even if they do feel bad and like, oh, they seem really sad that I broke up with them, that's not attraction, right? They're just feeling pity for you. You want them to feel attraction for you, right? If you want them back, okay? That's another thing that you need to think of. Do I even want that person back? And I'll get into that in a little bit. But you have to go into immediate no contact, no posting anything, nothing that they can see. They shouldn't be getting anything from you. Right after the breakup's happened, the only thing that you should say to them when it actually happens, is the moment it happens, is, okay, I accept it. I don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with me. And that's all you ever need to say, okay? Now, if this is someone who is a good person, if your ex is someone that, was a really nice, good, decent human being, and they weren't toxic in any way, and it was a good relationship, then you can say something as well as, you know, you have my contact information if you change your mind about it. You know, you have my contacts, I'm there if you need me. And then you go ghost. You say nothing else. That's it. That's all you'll ever need to say. Okay? So don't show how upset you are about it. If you are upset about it, then just speak to your therapist about it, or you know, when or your friends or something like that. As long as they're friends that can't relay the information of how upset you are back to your ex. So don't talk to mutual friends or anything like that. It's best to just keep your upset to yourself, or to your therapist, or to people that are really close to you, like your siblings and your parents. But also make sure, if you are talking to someone who could possibly say to your ex how you're feeling, then, you know, say to them, please don't tell my ex what I've just told you, or something like that. But obviously it depends on who you trust, right? Tell people that you trust if you're upset about something and you need to talk to someone. Okay, so just stay in no contact. And what will happen is either your ex will eventually reach out to you, or you'll never hear from them again. But you don't want to be waiting by the phone. And if they do come back, you need to ask yourself, do I even want this person back? Right? So that's when you like think back on the relationship. Was there a lot of arguments? Was there a lot of passive aggressive behavior? Were you feeling more miserable most days than feeling good? You know, you need to think about those things. You need to think about who your ex is as a person as well. Are they a good person? Were they playing mind games with you? You know, were they actually decent? Or was there a lot of red flags? Like perhaps they cheated on you, or they were talking to other people, or they played mind games with you. Like, you don't want to get back with someone who was doing things like that. But if they were a decent, good person, and perhaps the breakup happened because of a misunderstanding, or because of like some sort of third party interference, like someone made up lies about you and made them dump you, then yeah, maybe that's a good time to get back with an ex when something like that has happened, right? Because it's just been a big misunderstanding. But usually your ex is an ex for a reason, and you shouldn't want to even get your ex back anyway. Go and find someone better, because there are people out there that are going to be better, right? There's always someone that's going to be better than the person, you know, than your ex, right? So just take your time to heal, and then after minimum 6 months, go back to dating again, okay? So what happens then if you were the one that dumped them? What do you do if you were the one that dumped them and you realize that you've made a mistake? Okay, this is all you need to do, basically, if you dumped someone and now you regret it, okay? So that is, ask for reconciliation and apologize once, right? So that's one text message, or that's one phone call where you say, hey, look, you know, I made a mistake. I'm really sorry. I'd really like to get back with you. When are you free to hang out to talk about this? And that's all you need to say. And you only need to ever say that once. If you've already done something like that, then you don't need to do it again. You only have to say something like that once, okay? Once, okay? So then the ball is in their court. They've got the call from you. They've got the message from you. You know, maybe a voicemail that you've left on their phone, right? You now then have to wait and see what their response is. Now, you may not ever get a response from them, which is, you know, it sucks, but if that's happened, then that's what it is. It is what it is. And you just have to move on then, right? Or it could be the case that they do reply to your message, but they say no thanks. And then you just accept that. You gracefully accept that, and you go into no contact. And you stay in no contact unless they reach out to you again. And, or they may say yes and tell you when they're available to hang out with you to have a chat about it, okay? So that's all you really need to do. And that's how you deal with a breakup effectively, especially if you're hoping to get that person back. But again, an ex is an ex for a reason. Sometimes it's best to keep the past in the past. In fact, more times than not, it's best to keep the past in the past. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.